doesn't respond. I ask if I sing a new one, will I always sing alone? For so long I have known only sorrow. How could I fail to hear the sound of all the sleeping hearts, the timid hopefuls, waiting for a path to be clear? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. When the blaze lullaby and good night. In the sky stars are bright. May the moon's silvery beams bring you sweet dreams. Close your eyes now and rest. May these hours be blessed till the skies bright with dawn. When you wake with a yawn, lullaby and good night. You are mother's delight. I'll protect you from harm, and you'll wake in my arms.
Hey everybody, how are you? It's a treat to get to be with you guys. So I'm on YouTube and Facebook, as well as Instagram Live, and it's a pleasure to be with you guys so that we can do this Lullaby Club. I've been nostalgic for this album. I have my Lullaby Club teacup, and I thank you guys for spending some of your Sunday with me. I thought I would start just by lighting a candle. If you guys happen to have a candle wherever you are, grab it, and we'll light a little candle and get ourselves in the chill vibes for a Lullaby Club. All right. I always say a prayer before I sing. And when I'm on tour, I don't light a candle just because of the obvious risks. But if I'm doing things like this or interviews, I always light a candle and say a prayer. So I'm going to do that. You guys are welcome to join me. Wherever there is love, there is light. And wherever there is light, there is love. May the love of light live within me, and the light of love surround me and protect me and be my keeper on this day. Thought I would go ahead and light some incense. This is also something I do. I make offerings every day of gratitude. And part of my meditation practice is I spend probably 45 minutes a day in meditation and in prayer. And I love that in many traditions they feel like the smoke carries these prayers, which is really beautiful. Okay, I am all set and ready. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. I've been really nostalgic for my Lullaby album, and I thought I would share some of what inspired me to make this album. I've been writing myself songs to soothe my own anxiety since I was first started writing songs, so right around 16. I had a really hard time sleeping. As a lot of you know, when I was 16, I started having panic attacks, but I didn't know what they were. I didn't even know what they were called till I was in my 30s, believe it or not. Anybody that's ever had a panic attack knows that it's very frightening, disconcerting. And I was on my own at this boarding school. And my anxiety would really hit at night when I was trying to sleep. I just couldn't sleep no matter how tired I was. And when I started writing songs, I realized that my voice soothed me. It comforted me. The lyrics I wrote could comfort me. And so I started to write songs as almost like a prescription for myself so that I could sleep well. And so one of the very first songs I wrote was Raven, which is probably what I'll play in a little bit. So I always wrote myself these very soothing songs that I felt like would help me get on my parasympathetic nervous system. You guys probably all know this, but we have fight or flight, right? Our sympathetic nervous system, and our parasympathetic nervous system is our relaxing nervous system. And so I used these songs that I wrote over the years through being homeless, through my even getting signed to my record deal. I continually write these songs that worked on my anxiety. And so when I was pregnant, I decided to try and do an experiment. I actually was very fascinated. This will seem so outside the box, but I promise I'll circle back. I was very interested in the Food Network. Do you guys remember the rise of the Food Network in the early like 2005? It was a phenomenon to see like this chef television. And it was really interesting. As I looked at it, I realized these chefs weren't being paid a lot for the TV show. They were making more money by selling pots and pans. And as I was watching the music industry become very disrupted, streaming was taking over. It was harder and harder to make money by selling records. I thought, what if that's the future for musicians? What if we start to give our music away, but we start to build a lifestyle? So I wanted to try and experiment what it was like to get off of a record label and to go directly to my fans. And so I was doing the country albums at the time. I was just negotiating that contract with Scott Borchetta. And I did a 2-record deal with Scott, and I negotiated to be able to have, hang on. My thing thinks I'm not using it, my Instagram. Okay. Hopefully we're back in business. So I negotiated to do this Lullaby album. It had to be no genre that existed. It had to be a complete non-compete, couldn't go to radio, couldn't use normal distribution channels. And so I was like, this is my chance. I'm going to make this anti-anxiety album. And so that's what caused me to do Lullaby. It was a completely outside the box project. I paid for it myself. I produced it myself. I couldn't use normal distribution channels. And so I licensed Fisher-Price's name. I realized all my fans were in the baby aisle and the greeting card aisle. My fans weren't necessarily in the music sections anymore. My fans were getting older like I was and starting to have children. And so I thought, what if I call this album Lullaby and have it help moms and babies fall asleep, but hopefully everybody. And the album became this runaway success, completely unrecorded, undocumented, because all of the platforms that you record record sales through is a different system. Anyway, a lot of technical stuff, but I started selling a lot of these albums. And it's just been this gift. This album has been an absolute gift in my life. It has helped me actually support me when I wasn't touring as much, when I became a single mom. Because I own the master of this album, I actually make a higher percent when it streams. And you guys continuing to stream it has actually supported me so that I could make these decisions to be home with my son and not work as much. So it's been really an incredible album all these years. And that's what made me start writing it. I did think I would take maybe some questions. I see some here that I have already written down. What was a challenge vocally with making Lullaby? My goal with making Lullaby was to try and get a trance going and to never break it, to never sing louder than a whisper, so never using my chest voice. I wanted to lull people, into this nervous system state and then just keep it there where it had this sort of hypnotic feeling. So I think I sung mostly just in my head voice, which for me, when I sing, is very soothing. And I don't know that anything was challenging. It's just that when I was producing it, I was really thoughtful about never trying to break this spell. I'd be curious if you guys feel that when you listen to it. I'm gonna check out some comments here. This is really fun to be able to be on all these platforms at the same time. I see people from all over the world tuning in. This is so fun. I've been working so hard on visual art that I haven't been doing as much music. So for me, this is like a fun way to dip back in music and get to be with you guys, even though I'm not on tour. What is one of the most rewarding things about this album? To me, one of the most rewarding things is that people have reported using this album in all kinds of situations. It's being given as a gift for mothers, expectant mothers, which is so cool. I love the idea of parents bonding with their kids over these songs. It's just so sweet. I love the idea of children falling asleep to this. It kind of tears me up. It's such a wholesome, sweet thing to think that I could be singing for people's children. It really feels like an honor. But my hope was that people would find this album as an anti-anxiety album. And so realizing that people were finding their way to it, like a lot of college students tell me that they listen to this when they're studying, and it just helps them stay calm and stay focused and relaxed and not worry. I've had a lot of men, like high-powered CEOs, tell me they come home and they relax to it tonight. A lot of road rage people tell me they listen to this in traffic, which I thought was really cool to keep them just chill during rush hour. I thought that was really neat. Okay, I'm just looking for other questions. Let me see. You guys are giving me compliments. That's incredibly sweet. Somebody's asking for my favorite song. I guess my favorite song is Dreamer. Brave dreamer, dream anew, and you won't always dream alone. I think I spent so much of my life alone, living on my own, that I wrote songs a lot about community and building community and finding other people like me that would try to live courageously even though we were scared. And that's really what I found in you guys. I find that the everyday angels and the ethos of my fans has really been that. It's been so special. It's interesting with that song. I remember somebody asked me to write a song for a movie. I'm trying to remember what movie it was. And there was this pretty famous producer, and so I wrote Dreamer for him. And he got on the phone with me. He's like, I don't produce any songs that aren't hits. He was such an arrogant shit. And I remember going, that's fine. I loved the song. So it was really fun to finally have a chance to put it on something, which was Lullaby. I'd say my other favorite song is Raven, just because it's I think it's the second song I ever wrote. I wrote Who'll Save Your Soul, and then I wrote Raven. So you could really tell, between those two songs, what I was focusing on my life. Who'll Save Your Soul was really about learning how to take accountability for myself and saying who was going to save me if I wouldn't save myself. Realizing that nobody was coming for me, and would I come for me, or was I going to remain so mad at the world and act like I was entitled to just somebody caring when nobody's entitled to that, really. And it's a silly thing to sit around and wait for because you have no control over it. And so Who'll Save Your Soul for me was about saying, I will. Like, I'm responsible for my happiness. I'm going to try and show up for myself. And then, with Raven, it was me imagining. I would do this a lot to fall asleep. I would imagine like an angel singing to me or guides singing to me. just feeling like I wasn't alone, like there was magic in the world. And I would really anchor into those feelings. I really believe it. I'll go ahead and sing that for you guys. Might as well. This is my beat up old guitar, if you guys can see it. I really love it though. It's really comfortable to play. Can you guys hear okay? Everybody hear good? Okay. I'll try and remember the last verse of this. I haven't sung this in a while. Fly like a raven, black honey into the night, soft like the air beneath a swan in a flight, then return back home to bed and bring the dancing stars. Sleep and dream of a white wolf howling, and know I am near. Shh, close your eyes. Don't ask why, let's dream together, you and I. Close your eyes, we can fly, dreaming together, you and I. The moon is sailed on a silver gown of stars that's long but not forever. Soon love will rise as mine and sing to the shadows. Now lie still as the wind and listen, for I will come to you with the footsteps of morning. Shh, close your eyes, don't ask why, dreaming together, you and I. Close your eyes, we can fly, dreaming together, you and I. That's Raven off of my album Lullaby. Just sitting here looking at your guys' questions. I feel calmer. I don't know if you guys do. That song works. This album really works. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of stuff I'm working on, I guess. I am working on a follow-up to Lullaby. I've put it a little bit on the back burner though, because I am going to be doing my first solo art exhibition, and music's actually going to be a big part of it. And I'm starting to work on something called what I'm calling neuroceutical artwork, neuroceutical music. This idea that we can create sort of prescriptive medicinal art. But I love science. You guys may or may not know that about me. And I want to be able to prove it. I've had a hunch that Lullaby really does lower your blood pressure, really does soothe your anxiety, really does get you into parasympathetic nervous system. I know that just by what it does to my body and what I hear from other people. But I thought it'd be really cool to see if I could prove it. And so I'm actually working with the University of Mexico, a neuroscientist and a physicist. And this music I'm making for my art exhibit, we're starting to able to show that it actually really does get you into alpha and theta brainwave states. Normally, theta brainwave states are only achieved through sleeping or being in altered, plant medicines or things like that, which I don't happen to do. But it's really cool to see that the sculptures that I'm working on that have these light and sound components get you into these theta brainwave states in a really short amount of time. So it's been really fun to go on this journey from Lullaby, where my goal was to kind of tap into people's nervous systems and have it be nourishing. I think so much of art is extractive. Do you guys know what I mean? And it's good, like there's times where we want our music to like get our adrenaline going and be excitatory. But there's also times where we need help relaxing, getting into parasympathetic. So it's been really a neat journey to go from Lullaby into sort of what I'm doing now, which is a little bit more abstract music, but super trippy and mind altering. Okay, I'm just looking for any questions. Somebody said I needed that. It lowered my blood pressure. Next time I do this, I'm going to do this next Sunday to the next 3 Sundays. I'm going to wear how can I get a blood pressure monitor? I'm going to get a little cuff. We can all do like our own little studies. For the study, somebody's asking me where I said, no, the University of Mexico City is where the music I'm doing is being studied. Let's see, advice on when your life burns down. Left by spouse, no income, confidence broken, don't want to submit to fear. I do want to create miracles, so want a quantum leap with faith alone. What do you think? I think that's very possible, Carrie. It's hard work. My life has burnt down multiple times. I've definitely been broke and had to start over in a hole. I really, really believe in the power of focus. I think having time to grieve every day is important, while also it's like having one foot in the grave and one foot in a future you don't know yet. So I would dedicate time every day to my grief and allow myself to like write my grief. But I'd also give myself a little time to be excited and be curious about what else is going to happen. What dream am I dreaming? What could I do? And it's so hard when you're broken down and you've been shaken to the core like that. But I'm definitely living proof that you can find your way back. I know those feelings, being insecure and feeling like you have no value because the people you loved didn't value you. But their value has nothing to do with your worth. And you're now embarking on a journey to get to understand your own worth really, truly, powerfully for the first time. That's worth fighting for. And I think you're up to that challenge. We have a couple minutes left. I'll look at some more questions. How do you keep the spark flowing when you're feeling low? One of the reasons that I meditate every day, I call it practice, is so that during times, it's like physical training. You train so that when you run a marathon, you're in shape enough to go the distance. And for me, I meditate every day so that I can train every day, so that when the chips are down, I can go the distance. A sentence that really helps me is that you don't get to choose how life changes, just how it changes you. And so to really stop focusing on all the hypervigilance of trying to control every single aspect of life. And when things happen and shit happens, being able to say, but how do I want it to change me? That's a really good investment on my emotional capital, if you will. If my spark is low, it's usually because I'm tired. It's usually because I'm giving my energy to things that I shouldn't be. And it means that I really need to stop and reflect and see where I need to pull that energy back in. Maybe I'm trying to help too many people. Maybe I'm trying to help somebody else with their drama and it's not my business. Maybe I'm not resting. And so it usually is a time to stop and reflect and then make sure I have my fundamentals right, that I do have a good daily practice. So I hope that's helpful. All right. I'm just scrolling through to see some more questions. Somebody said your music has helped me, Mel, for the last 20 years. I first saw you in Sydney way back in the day. Oh, that means a lot. Thank you. Spark, Middle English. Glowing or fiery particle thrown off. All right. We have some etymologists here. I like it. I love seeing you guys interact. Yeah, it's neat to see you all here and showing up. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do it next Sunday. Any more questions about Lullaby? It's fun to see your guys' responses to it. The fact that this album has just stayed alive. This was released in 2008 and it just charted in Canada. Isn't that wild? Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, they're almost all original songs, like 14 original songs and 2 covers maybe. And like I said, because I own this master, every time you guys stream it, this has kept me going. This is why I've been able to stop and just raise my son or things like that. And it's because I don't have a label. That's how amazing it is to own your own master. It's been really powerful. And so the big risk I took and has really been worthwhile, and seeing your guys' responses to it. Let's see, what else? I will leave this viewable later. I will do this on Mother's Day. I'm going to have one of my friends join me, so that'll be fun to have a conversation. Let me know what other songs you want me to sing. I was thinking maybe Angel Standing By. I love that song. If you can say you love your own songs. But I guess I can. They always feel like gifts, like they came from somewhere else. So I don't feel like I'm taking credit, if that makes any sense. Sunday service with Jewel. In my own humble way, I will try to be of service. Then Sunday, May 18th, I'm going to do this series with Dr. Amen. I'm sure you guys know him. He's a wonderful doctor who focuses on brain health and just the science of brain health. So that'll be really fun. And then May 25th, if you're in Las Vegas or anywhere near, drive to Las Vegas. I wanted to do something that was for community. So there's going to be an event. I won't be there in person. But my foundation is there, and a lot of the youth that I work with will be there, and a lot of people I work with on my team will be a community event at the Greenhouse Smoothie Bar. I thought it'd be fun. So I hope you guys can maybe make a little pilgrimage out there and meet some other EDAs. Yeah. What else? The Uncertainty of Air is a song. I feel like it's a song I wrote, but I can't remember it. Classic me. Classic me. All right. Our time is pretty much drawing to an end. I really appreciate you guys joining me. This is so fun for me to get to connect with you guys and sing and focus on some music and share some of what I'm up to. All right, everybody. Mwah. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.